Alright, this is a test. This is going to be for our new Google Hangouts. I've already invited Dee Dub. He is currently unavailable, but we will test this again later. And this is just to make sure that we are doing this correctly. So, I'm going to go ahead and refresh right now from my viewer. Let's see if I can pull this up right now. Come on, come on. So I'm not seeing the live stream yet. I am looking for it, that's for sure. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and try refreshing this. Alright. Looks like it might be working. So, the thing that I'm running into, noticing... Hi there, Christy. How you doing today?
Looks like it might be working.
Hey, what's up, Dee Dub? Yeah, it worked, man. It worked. I'm trying to figure out how to rotate this screen, though. Let me go ahead and turn down my TV here, because you guys are popping up on my TV right now. Alright, so Dee Dub and I were just talking about this, and I've already spoken with Black Bigot about it. Once I figure out how to do this whole rotation, because it's not rotating here, let me just try something real quick, if you could bear with me here. Trying to force the rotation on this screen, so let me see if I can tip it. Come on. See? It's literally, it's keeping my head sideways. I don't understand what's going on here. It almost seems like it did it for a second, and then it's not doing it now. That is so weird. Alright. So yeah, I might have to do this from either my laptop, one of my laptops, my tablets, or one of my computer systems here. But anyway, I'll figure it out. Some people are using Google Hangouts on their computer systems, which is why this is broadcasting the way it is right now. So hey, let's see if we can do a quick test here. Let's do a Q&A quickly. Anybody have any questions for me? I see we got 4 in the chat, or in the room here. You have anything you want to ask me specifically? Hey, Ryan. Ryan, can you turn that light on, please, honey?
Yeah.
I'm going to have my daughter turn on the light in here so you can see me a little bit better.
Whoa.
I really appreciate y'all tuning in, though. Let's see. Comments. There we go. Alright, there we go. Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Ouch.
There we go. So, in regard to my experiences, the most... Let's see here. So, Dee Dub says, how has your experiences affected your life? So, they've affected me in the following ways. Every time I walk into a room, I am very wary about just walking directly in. I check. Yeah, as far as like my encounters, I walk into anytime I walk into a room, I always check, especially at night. I always have a sense that I'm being watched at all times. Obviously, you know, because of the cameras and stuff, but it gets worse because I can sense when people walk into a room. There's something strange that happens. Like I can hear, it's like a radio frequency almost. When somebody's in the room, I can hear it. It's like a real high pitched humming, and it's the same thing when aliens are present. I can literally, it's almost like that same hum, but it's also like an ominous kind of really dark, weird feeling that comes over me. Like I feel like I'm being watched, and so I always watch out for that particular situation. Like if that starts to happen, then I really become aware of my surroundings, and I start checking everywhere, everything that's around me. If I'm in a public place, or if I'm, like, let's say if I'm out camping, right? I know the difference between animals and human beings or non-human beings that are present. Like animals, usually you'll hear them walking, they'll make noises. I remember when I was up in Idaho, I actually had what felt like an alien presence that was there up in the tree. And I got out some binoculars once, and I actually started looking up into the trees, and I could see movement in this tree, and I couldn't see a face. I could just see like almost like a body that was up in the branches, literally just facing me. But it was hiding itself up inside this tree. So I couldn't quite tell what kind of a being it was, but it was definitely not human. If it was human, it was the palest human I've seen in a long time, and the skinniest human. But like I said, I couldn't see its face. But so yeah, so that's affected me a lot. Windows, okay, and not the operating system. Anytime I'm near a window, especially at night, I always get the feeling that, you know, like it goes back to the watching. But anytime I'm near a window, I don't like sitting right next to the window. I prefer to sit away from it where I can see the window. I keep my back to the wall a lot, just because I don't like to have things sneak up on me. And not to say that I'm scared, but you know, there's a little bit of fear there as to like what could happen next. Kind of like what happened, I believe it was the beginning of December. So like last month, when I lost 4 hours of time right here in this apartment. Like, sorry about the laundry and the little bit of a mess here, but if you can see that chair there by my door, I was sitting there looking at that TV. I was sitting there. I looked at the TV. I looked at my phone on this desk, and then I looked over into the kitchen. And then I basically looked back, and I had checked the time. You know, I looked at my phone. It said it was 10 o'clock. I looked at the TV, set up a show. I was watching American Dad. Then I turned back, looked at my phone again to verify it was 10 o'clock. And just like at a moment's glance, like I turn over and look at the clock again in the kitchen, and it said it was 2:03. So I literally lost 4 hours in a moment. Like, and I felt really weird. Like I felt foggy, like up to that moment. If that makes sense, like clear. I remember everything. I was wide awake. I had been awake like since 4 o'clock in the morning. So there was no way that like I was sleeping or anything. I woke up. I was helping my wife get ready for work that day. I get up at 4 a.m. with her and get her, you know, going. But I was sitting right there. I checked my phone and checked the TV, put a show on, look back at my phone, look over there. Next thing I know, I lost 4 hours, and I felt really weird before and after that happened. So it was a very strange occurrence. So when it comes to being aware of my surroundings, anytime that I leave or get back to my place, like whenever I leave home or come home, I always check every room in the house. I check all my windows and doors. I check the closets. I check the cupboards. I look like under the bathroom sink, under the kitchen sink. I know that's kind of like a tight space for someone or something to hide. I check behind furniture or like in between crawl spaces. Like it's gotten to the point where like I'll look inside my laundry area, which is a really small nook, but you know, my paranoia is really heightened just from having all of these experiences. You know, and knowing that I'm not really safe per se. Like I feel now, like after all of the encounters that I've had over the years, that I'm safe with them. You know, I even marked myself on my wrist, so that way they know. You know, they already know I'm a friendly, but that's to verify. You know, that's my membership right there to show them that I am a friendly, that I mean no harm, and I'm really hoping that I get a proper introduction this next time around, instead of just being picked up and, you know, put into a ship, or having my arm cut open again, or having something put in my back again, or put up my nose. I mean, I feel like something's in my sinus. Like I'm always trying to clear this, and I can never get anything out. It's just mucus, or like this mark that's on my leg. That big dot right there. This whole area here. It's like a hardened mass of tissue. You know what? Let me see if I can change the video quality here. I'm sorry. I guess I can't change it unless I do it back, you know, before the cast, so. Let me try something real quick here. So it's not going to let me change the video quality unless I stop it and then restart it. But because right now I've got it set to, I think, 40. So right now it's coming over really, really crap. So I was trying to set 720 and it wouldn't load. But I got the 480 stream to finally load there. Yeah, I see it wants me to stop the capture. So anyway, kind of wondering what's going on now. There we go. All right, so other ways that it affected my life. Well, here's a big one that's affected my life. All right, I've had people calling me crazy or saying I'm on drugs, which, you know, I've had my fair share of partying, but a lot of that was to drown out what had happened in the past. You know, everybody's had their time in their life where they've, you know, gone to partying, whether it be drinking or some kind of substance. So I've had my fair share there, but none of it ever was a direct result. I never used or did anything and then had an experience. It was always the other way around. You know, it would happen, I would tell everybody about it, nobody would believe me, they would be like, you're full of shit, or whatever, you know, you got a crazy imagination, what are you smoking? It's always something like that. So it got to the point where I was like, you know what, I need to just zone out and get out of it. So, you know, I would smoke some weed or have a drink, or, you know, whatever it was. So whatever I could to dull myself out, just to get away from all of that horrible feeling, you know, of having people really just, what's the word? Betray. So having people betray you, you know, it was really hurtful. You know, it was really hurtful to have people, or even if they're not friends, just people I've come across, think that they were really cool, and all of a sudden, they're just being a total asshole, and they're like, you know what, I don't believe a thing you say, and it's like, you know what, I've opened my heart and mind to you, and not to bag on religion or anything, I'm sure some of you may be religious, but I have seen more proof of aliens existing than I have seen of a god or some kind of deity existing. I truly believe that aliens are in control. And until I'm proved otherwise, that's what I'm going to believe. But I've never once gone out and discredited somebody's belief by saying, well, you've never seen God, you've never talked to Jesus, you've never seen, never seen angels or demons or whatever, or even with other religions, they all have their deities. So, like, I don't want to just start knocking on anybody, but I'm just saying, everybody has their faith, whether it be in, a religion, or they have faith in their community, or their family. Some people are atheists, so, but that's always been the biggest thing, I've first to prove it. I have family that were there when this happened. Well, at least time I can verify that. And one of my last times, my parents in the house when I got taken up into a ship. Hell, I went. I was gone. I was gone for a while. And when I got back, I came running out of the room, and I was like, "Look, this is where I was. This is what happened." And they were looking at me like, "What the fuck?" Like, literally, what the fuck? Really? I was like, yeah, and I could see what was going on. It was the second happened during the daytime. But yeah, anyway, to get back to that, it's always been really hurtful to have people, shun me or treat me differently or act like I'm a nutcase or that I've got some kind of impairment mentally or substance-wise. Pardon me. And that's not the case. I've got a very high IQ. I've got a 161 IQ. I am educated. I've got, and all of this aside, to kind of point out my characteristics, this doesn't make me a credible person, but the scarring does, and the interactions that I've had, they do as well. My uncle, my cousins, my brothers, my sister, they were all present when the cow mutilation happened. When I got abducted when I was 8 years old, there was 2 alien grays in our house, and 2 of my brothers and 1 of my sisters saw it happen, and they were frozen solid in their beds. They could not move at all. And they were like 2 feet behind me in a bunk bed. My brothers were laying on the bottom bunk. My little sister was on the top bunk by herself. All they could do was look around. They couldn't scream or talk. They couldn't move a single muscle. And they saw 2 of them in there. They had me levitated 4 feet off the ground, literally on my backside, floating through the air. And they watched them bring me out of my my big sister's bedroom, because I went to sleep in her room, and I went to sleep in her room. She wasn't in there, and then when I got brought out to the living room, that's when they levitated me out. And I guess she had already come home after I went to sleep, and so she was sleeping on the other half of that bed. And they brought me out into the living room on my back, floated. I was floating, levitating out in the living room. They put me down in the lazy boy chair, and that's when I came to. It woke me up, because them setting me down in that chair, it stirred me up, And so I woke up, and that's when I noticed that there was one on the left side, and I just lost my shit. And I was like, no, I'm not having this. I don't want it to get me. I don't know why I thought the way that I thought back then, that spinning in the chair was going to make this thing going away, but That's gotta be like the dumbest shit ever, but that was my mind when I was 8. You know, I was in 3rd grade thinking this is what's gonna, you know, work. And little did I know that there was 2 of them. So spinning didn't do a thing. It wasn't going to do a thing because the one on the left was just one. The other, its partner, was standing right behind me in the chair, or behind my chair, and that's the one that actually grabbed the chair and stopped it. And I don't know if one of them pushed me forward and then injected me, or if one pushed me forward while the other one injected me in my back, right in front of my right kidney on my my lower right flank. That's when I felt that warm feeling under my skin, this wiggling, cold feeling underneath my actual, like all the way under my skin. And I could feel it just moving its way all the way up my back. And it made its way up to my spine, where it settled, and I didn't feel it move anymore. But I could feel it just go all the way up into that point. And then once it made its way there, that's when I got knocked out and then put back. They levitated me back into the bedroom again and put me back down. And when I woke up, like, it was like 6 times colder than it was when I was in the living room. Like, the living room felt like it was about 70 degrees or so. But when I got back to that bedroom, like, that bedroom felt like, it felt like a meat freezer. That cold. Like, it was like, it had to be like 0 degrees or anywhere from 0 to 20. It was just freezing. Like, I could not stand still. I was just convulsing like that, like, you know, shaking. And I told my sister Melania, I go, Melania, wake up, you gotta wake up. Something was out here. Something was in the living room. You know, and I'm like, please, you know, wake up. I need you. I need you to wake up right now. I need your help. And it freaked her out. And she's like, you know, what's going on? And so I told her, I said, look, there was something here. They were out in the living room. They had me out there. I don't know how the hell I made it back here in this bedroom, but they put me back here. They stuck something in my back. I kicked over a bunch of plants while I was out in the living room. And she's like, you know what? I don't know what your deal is. You know, that was that kind of like response. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'll go out there with you. So she could kind of like get me to settle down. And we get out to the living room, and sure as shit, man, all of the plants were knocked over where I said they'd be knocked over. The chair was turned all around. My brothers and sisters, they were back asleep. I don't know what happened, but they were knocked out. Like, they didn't wake back up until a while after we were already out in the living room. And so my sister, after seeing all that, the damages, you know, and I told her what had happened, and, you know, I felt like they put something on my back. I had her check me. I was like, do you see anything? Do you see a mark? Something's inside my back. Something went under my skin. It was cold. I didn't really see much of anything. I see like a little red dot. She could see like a little, you know, she could see like a little red speck there. That was about it. And so she said, you know what, I'll stay up with you until the sun comes up. And it was like 4 in the morning by the time, you know, I had woken her up. And so she stayed up with me till like 7 in the morning so I could get ready for school. Had a half day. My mom was cleaning up the living room at like 11 o'clock in the morning. She was picking up the pots and the plants, you know, that got knocked over by me when I had the struggle. And I told my mom about it. And she, you know, my mom gave me that same kind of like, you know, that look. What are you talking about? Aliens, what? So that was like the beginning of my unfortunate, you know, case with my family, you know, telling them something that they wouldn't believe. But like after many times over all the years, even when we saw the Phoenix lights here, you know, and like I said, the cow mutilation that we had, it came back when I was 18. Then they put that scoop mark. Then they came back again when I was 22. And that's when I got taken up above the earth. I could see the whole earth. I couldn't see the moon. I saw the whole earth, though. And I was pounding on the glass on that ship, walking around the hallways of the ship. There we go. Anyway, that. I just realized I've my wife's email address here, so. Well, I was told Dee Dub let me know, so. Anyway. So that's kind of like a recap into a lot of the things that have happened. I've had, apparitions and ghosts. I've actually seen demonic possession firsthand. Mainly like when I was back east living with like the Amish, the Pennsylvania Dutch, born again Christian, like different like denominations, or what are they called? Can't remember the word to save my life right now. They had different groups within their churches, in the communities. That's what it is. Different communities. So, but yeah, I've seen it all firsthand, and yeah, there are demons, I would say, like possessions, but as far as it's concerned, like, I'm kind of on the fence with it. I really think that a lot of it's just that people get so twisted up that nuts. But at the same time, I've also felt dark presences, so I see where it could go. So I guess it's really up to the individual that's doing it, But anyway, so what I wanted to get back to was the fact that what we're putting together right now, we want to get to the bottom of everything. We want the truth. And we're not going to... I will do this until my dying day, whether that's today or in 30 years. I'm sick of the lies. I'm sick of people treating others like the way that I've been treated, being outcast. So if any of you that are watching now have any stories that you want to share, if you're willing to do interviews, if you're willing to do podcasts, if you have footage, or if you have videos, pictures, if you have scars that you don't know where they came from, if you've had other encounters with, the spirit world, things that are verifiable, well, I'll take that too. But even if it's a personal account, which 90% of my stuff is all personal accounts, aside from, the Phoenix Light, and then when I was 8 and when I was 22. But, those other couples, yeah, it's like 90% can all be accounted for, but the other 10%, or maybe a little over that, is stuff that's based on just my personal experience. So, but yeah, so if you have anything that you can share with me, or if you want to be part of our group, or help us do more investigations, the word, help people know what we're trying to do, then if you haven't subscribed to Dee Dub's channel as well, which I still have open. Or Black Bigot's channel. Black Bigot is already going nationwide. He's up in Wisconsin, but Dee Dub is going to be getting on the road here very soon, in a couple of months. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up real quick. This is where you want to go. Pull up this video, listen to what he has to say. His message is right along the lines of what I'm saying, and he wants to get on the road and start interviewing people. So let's go ahead and make this a good thing, guys. All right. You have any other closing questions, or Dee Dub, do you have anything you want to address here? I know that you can't go live yet, but is there anything that you want to touch on before I end this this stream here? See if I can play this for you.
YouTube. Why I'm doing this? I've been thinking for a long time now to go on the road. Encounters UFO and mimic stuff. Really get up and make it nedragunn. Water there. So Europe. Well, find false. So the goals for way ahead is for so put your name by no this is these being quite people
So, bandwidth over here completely bonkers or what, but yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up. That's this video. You can type in search finding out the truth about UFOs and aliens and missing persons, or you can go to Dee Dub's subscription channel. You can also go and you can find his link within my subscribers list, or on my Facebook page or Twitter feed. So I'll subscribe to Dee Dub, subscribe to Black Bigot. Let's go ahead and build a better community of seekers that are into only the truth and not these bogus stories of drones and water. Thanks for tuning in. I will talk to y'all later. All right, bye.